I was looking through some things here and there, and I found a box. Yes, a box. And in that box were a bunch of things. Another cable to put on the lamp. At the moment, I do not have ways to test some of these things, but here is something that was revolutionary when it came out, or certainly made things a lot better for a lot of people. The 1670 1200 baud modem. It would go at 300 as well. It's funny, you know, I spent a long time involved with bulletin board things, and you know, the one nice thing about 300 baud, if there was a nice thing, is it was a nice, comfortable speed to read. It was. It was indeed. And then, in that same box, I found a Centronics parallel printer interface with graphics for the Vic-20 and C64 computers. How do I know that's what it is? Because that's exactly what it says on the front. It went, these are kind of cool, went into the serial port, went into the cassette port to get a little power, but left you that you could still plug something else into the cassette port, and then went off to your parallel printer. I do not have, I do have stuff around that I could hook this up and test it. I don't have it handy, so I won't. I will set this where did I put them up? Oh, I will set these things over here with joysticks and mouse things. The one thing I did find here in this box that I actually could test out is a genuine Commodore 64 power supply. So, I'm going to undo the cord and see about finding 64. And the other thing I'll need to do is plug in a video cable and be ready. These things, ooh, they do have long cords, these. Okay, so let's see what we have over here. Look, it's a Commodore 64. Works. Have original box. Cool. Yellowed, yeah. The keys certainly are yellowed. Alright, firstly, we will hook up some video. Then, making sure the power switch is indeed off. We'll plug this in. I am always leery about power supplies. Although, you know, in the early days, there seemed to be a lot more failures. Is that monitor coming to life. The monitor is coming to life. So, here I have what I know is, or was, a good working 64 with this power supply of dubious origin. But let's see. We're on. We're up. We're good. Actually, there's a fellow who got in touch with me recently who has managed to get a whole lot of things, including a Commodore 64, but no power supply. So, I'm thinking that what I might do is turn this off and reach over here and find another plug for this away from the main power of such things as I did with the Amiga. That means the power supply sits in the toolbox. It's funny, you know, there are never enough plugs. Never, ever enough. Never enough. Well, I suppose, excuse me while I do this, the Amiga 500 power supply does really not need to be plugged in at the moment. So, I will unplug it. Get the cord out of the way. So this one I can turn on, and I can test I. Aha! Right here. Here. Huh. Dead test. Yes. Here's the dead test cartridge. Hello. So I think I will put that in there and see what comes up. It usually takes a little while. There we go. So, of the three things I found in that box, this one, the power supply, I can test. The other two, at some point, I will. But not yet. It will take, not a whole bunch of doing, but, you know. And I'm not even sure, like, I know I could probably make the modem with a terminal program sort of make noises. I could. I don't know if there's anything much to call out there. I don't know. But I tell you, when those modems came out, and there were others, but the nice thing about they actually Commodore did something that was wise. Can you imagine? The 1670 used what I thought at the time were kind of, or should have been, an industry standard, and that was the Hayes Smart Modem had come out, and they had commands that you could send to the modem. And they were good, and they worked, and they were, you know, easy to get along with. And, you know, they made sense. There were many modems that came out. Oh, there we go. There were some modems that came out that were just so strange, everybody thought they weren't good. Well, they worked fine as modems, but you had to have the right terminal program to go with them. Whereas with the Hayes Smart Modem and the 1670 and others that used that standard, it was much easier. I'm trying to think of the one. There was one came out, and everyone was was like, oh, that's horrible, horrible, horrible. And it wasn't horrible. Like, they just have to talk to other things. But without, well, as you know, without software, what good is it? So, there were other things in that box. So, I think I will return to it and bring them in. I think I have to move a couple things here, though. This Amiga 1000 is quite beautiful and quite wonderful, and I want to keep it that way. So, I'm going to shuffle it around a little bit and make a little room to do a little more testing of what's in this box. And who knows, maybe I can add to the pile. By the way, down at the end of the room there, maybe I'll walk in. Oh, there goes the picture. Down here, for those that don't know, this whole pile I guess I don't need these here right now. I could put them up here. I like having this here, but this whole pile, right here, everything, from the corner on upwards, except for a few things on the top, are disk drives. Everything. Mostly 1541s, a lot of dual drives, a 2031 high profile, I think a regular 2031. What is that noise? Alright, what's happening? I hear something. What is happening? Alright, what's going on here? The 1702 was making funny noises. Maybe it just wasn't plugged in right. So, anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to tidy up a bit. Right. Here, this of course is a... Oh. Okay. No, we're still testing. This is, of course, a 1010 external disk drive for an Amiga. It's quite beautiful, and it even has its feet. They came with little rubber feet. They often, well, not often, sometimes, they fell off. Anyway, that looks good on the cut there. So, I think I'm going to turn this off for a moment. I've got lots of storage space. I think I do. So I'll just shift this back a little bit. And then this Amiga 1000, which, my word, the top, I mean the whole machine is pretty much just absolutely perfect. So I do not want it to be anything except perfect. So I will move it carefully away. Dear God. happening here? Alright, so I'm going back to the box that I found, because there's a couple of things there. It might not be surprising. But anyway, as I find things, I just got to test them. So, stay tuned for more surprises. Bye for now.